The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties.
Good evening. It is Thursday, May 11th, 2023. No, you did not log into the wrong show. Today, I am your host, Alicia Strayhorn, and this is Sparta MSU. Little known fact, I am actually the one in the family with a journalism degree from Michigan State, yet my husband, Jason, is the one with the 18-year broadcasting career. I guess that's proof of the long life versatility of an MSU degree. So if you're a first-time viewer, normally the show hosts are three bona fide football Spartan Dawgs. Obviously, I am not those things. But tonight, we are bringing you a special Mother's Day edition of the show to honor some of our Spartan athletes' moms, and the guys let me host. Selfishly, I'm super excited about this. I have some questions myself. So before we get into it, I need everyone to close the live chat, hit the like and subscribe buttons, then come back to the live chat. Want to receive updates from us between shows? This is how.
Thanks for tuning in to This is Sparta MSU. Interested in hearing more from us? Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. Click on the link in the bio to head to our link tree for more information. Help us grow our following by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Tell your friends and family to do the same. Have an idea for a future episode? Let us know in the comments section below. And now, back to the show.
So, I wasn't actually interested in pledging a sorority in college, but the group of women you're about to bring you are part of a special circle that I hope to one day be able to be a part of. Please welcome Spartan moms, Dr. Peggy Carr McMichael, Sherry Tatum, and Lisa Wells Harris. And in true form, I just have to give you a little backstage about these ladies already. Sherry Tatum's at a track meet for her daughter because sports mom life never ends. Dr. Peggy was just at a dance. Dr. Peggy was just at a dance with her son. And Lisa Harris, I'm sure, was to have to do something for Darien, even though he's not even a player anymore. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
We are excited to have you here. If you would each tell us just who you are and who are the little people who call you mama. Dr. Peggy, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I'm Peggy. I have 5 boys and a stepdaughter that goes to Michigan State. So I have, oh my God, I can't believe you're showing up. I have, my youngest is 9. We call him Man.
That's really
I have a sophomore at Belleville. We call him JJ. I have a junior at Belleville High School, Jeremiah. And I have a senior at Belleville High School, Joshua. And then my oldest, Malik Carr, is a junior at Michigan State. Wow. And so my stepdaughter's name is Kayla. She also attends Michigan State as well.
Look at the little Southfield Falcon. We were Falcons for a year.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah, he's a 24.
Yeah. Joshua's going to Ferris State next year to play football. So
wow.
We're super excited. Yeah.
Peggy, you're running the whole gamut of all the seasons that we're going to get into about the football mama life.
Yeah.
Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. One of my children is walking across the table at the moment. It's a cat who's driving me crazy. But my human children, the director of player relations, and program advancement in the MSU program, and former linebacker number 45. And then I have a younger son, Jordan, who is 25 and a graduate of Yale University with a degree in psychology. And he's my theater kid. So I had kids who were sort of completely different. And they kept me running between football games and the stage.
I can't wait to talk about the dichotomy of that. I'm super excited about that. Sherry?
Yes. I am Sherry Tatum. Oh, these are my babies. Raven, Dillon, and Cameron is the youngest. We are at her track meet, and my daughter, Raven, is also the track coach here at WB as well. And my son is Dillon Tatum, number 21. Can you do something for me? Son,
Sing it, girl.
Spartan Squad. So Darien and I, we're here at the track meet together. We have raised these 3 wonderful children to become productive citizens in society.
Man, y'all didn't just raise some productive citizens. Between the 3 of you, first of all, you're being very humble. Let me just say is I've done some research. So Miss Lisa's other son is the first Black male valedictorian of his high school.
Nice.
Yes, he didn't just go to any college to become a theater major. Again, he's at Yale.
Wow.
Dr. Peggy has 5 children, all of which are going to go to college on some sort of athletic scholarship. Not to mention, she was an incredible athlete in her own right in basketball. And Sherry has track stars, as you guys can see, that are doing their thing right now. So some people are just lucky if they can get one out of the house, and y'all are setting the world on fire. So as we were planning this episode, I realized tonight is show number 75. And actually 75 is special to me because it's the jersey number of my oldest son, Caden. Oh, see, I didn't know this other stuff was happening. He first made me a football mom. And as this is show 75, I feel his spirit here, making me a bit less nervous, even though I probably sound a little nervous still because I am. But I know he's here. So to help make our guests more comfortable, we are going to kick off the show with special messages for each of you from your kids.
Peggy Evans, Peggy Carr McMichael. I just wanted to say happy Mother's Day, Mom. You're the best mom in the world. Love you.
Hey, Mom. This is your oldest son, if you couldn't tell. Just want to wish you a very, very happy Mother's Day. There aren't enough thank yous in the entire world for me to show the gratitude that I have to you and what you've done for, of course, me and Jordan, but now being a BB to Naomi and mother-in-law to Olivia and pseudo-mom to all of my friends and just so many people. You embody what it is and what it means to be a mom, and I love you so much. I'm just incredibly grateful that you are my mother and for everything that you've done for me and taught me over the years, and what has, allowed me to, now be a parent and pass those things down to Naomi. And then watching you be a grandmother every single day is as meaningful as it gets and as important as it gets. And I know you learned a lot from your mom and the sacrifices that she made to help you and Dad take care of us. And you're doing the same for Naomi now. At the drop of a dime, you fly out here. You are obviously the best babysitter that we could ever ask for. And I just love you incredibly much. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you soon and bringing Naomi home to Maryland to see everybody and see the fam. So enjoy your day. For me, every day is Mother's Day, but enjoy your special day. See you incredibly soon. Love you.
Happy Mother's Day out there to all the mothers in the world. I want to give a really special thanks to my mother, Sherry Tatum. I love you, Mom. You're so special. You're like my number 1 road dog. We do anything together. And I just appreciate you for everything you've done for me and my sister so far. You're a great mother. You're my number 1. Love you, Mom. Go great.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you for being the woman every girl needs in their life. I love you. Bye.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you for going through all the good times and bad times with me. I love you. What's up, Mom? I just wanted to wish you happy Mother's Day, and thank you for all the sacrifices that you've made for me and Cody and Gabby, and let you know that we all love you and appreciate you. I know you're a great role model, especially for Gabriella. For her, I mean, as a female, I mean, a lot of women look up to you and say they want to be a mom like you. And I think that's just really powerful, and how you lead us to God and everything. Thank you for being faith-based with us, because that's the key to life, is the Bible. And thank you for instilling that in us and making sure we were in private school and all those things. So I just want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I know I'm sorry I can't be there, and I love you. I'll see you soon.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I know.
Okay, so
You ain't tell us about that.
You sure did, my God.
Yeah.
I was just supposed to surprise y'all, and now here we are together. Nothing.
Those were all incredible. My goodness.
Yes, they're very good.
The future looks bright, ladies.
Yes.
Truly.
Definitely.
So, given how terrific your young men are, we are all excited to talk to you a little bit deeper. So, I'm just going to ask a question. You can each have a chance to respond. I just want to start from the beginning. At about what age and what occurred when you realized your son was going to be a special athlete?
Okay. You want me to start?
Sure.
I knew we're at a basketball game at the YMCA, and a man came up to me and was like, "Your son needs to play football." I was like, "My son not playing football. He's a basketball player," because I play basketball. I wanted my son to play basketball. And his name was Coach Muhammad. He became Malik's coach, mentor, and from that day on, he's followed Malik and supported Malik, and he saw something in him that I didn't see. And when they say it takes a village, it really does take a village. Everybody has sown into my kids, from my family to their teachers to their coaches to the programs they've been in. And so I think you can, sometimes you don't notice, but other people notice for you. And in this case with Malik, I think he noticed what he was going to be. I wanted him to be a basketball player, even though he still played, but football is really his love.
Love it. Lisa, how about you?
We had started Darien in soccer when he was a little boy. And then at 7, he said that he wanted to try to join the local youth football program because he liked football a lot. He also loved basketball. And side note, basketball is actually his favorite sport, but he excelled at football. But not at 7, because at 7, I took him out to sign him up. His dad was at work, and we got there. And the whole situation was so overwhelming. He came running off the field and was like, "Okay, I don't want to do this." And I was like, "Neither do I. That's fine with me." And we ran home. And then at age 11, it all took off. It all took off from there. I mean, he had done, he had continued to do soccer from 7 to 11, karate, baseball, basketball. But once he started football at 11, that was it. And it stuck. He fell in love with it, and we just knew that was going to be where he was going to go all the way through high school.
Love that. Sherry?
Hi. Yes. Dillon started playing soccer at 3, and he was a beast. He always wanted to be out on the field, and Dillon had to wait your turn. Everybody has to get a shot, and then we moved to a new city, and we were riding our bikes, and we took our bikes through one of the neighborhoods. And when we went through the neighborhood, we saw these kids playing football, and Dillon was like, "I want to do that," at the age of 5. So we signed him up for the youth league. He played flag football and took off from there. Was playing since he was 5 years old, and he fell in love with it. Did all the other sports, but football was his love right there.
So the common theme is all these boys had a ball or something competitive in their hands, and once it took off, it never changed.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was not an athlete growing up. I think, some moms are and some moms aren't. When we realized our kids were going to be athletes, I asked Jason, like, how do I support them? And he said, you need to get them reading, writing, and running. And I said, well, reading and writing, I've got covered. Running, at that point, I was like, I thought I would die if I ran like too long. Like I had never even ran a mile straight. So I got into running, and they were obviously my biggest why. So that was how I kind of contributed. And I wanted to ask you whether you were athletes or not yourselves, and if you were or you were not, how did that impact your role as their mom in supporting their athletic dreams?
Okay. So I was an athlete growing up. I came from a track family, but when I went to Country Day, we had to play 3 sports. So I did indoor, outdoor track. I was like, what am I going to do for my other sport? So my coach at Country Day, Coach Orlando, said, why don't you try basketball? That didn't know anything about basketball. Didn't know none of the rules. Tried basketball, fell in love with it. So I was an athlete, and my parents were very supportive. Followed me everywhere, went everywhere with me. So as a parent, I kind of used the tools that I saw them use with me that worked, and then made some adjustments for this new era of kids. So I tried to let my kids, it was very hard for me to go to college. So, because my parents went everywhere with me. So I was homesick and things like that. So I said that with my kids, when they got old enough, I would let them travel, some by themselves or with their team. And then I would go with them. Sometimes, even if they travel with their team, I will go and meet them there, but just so they can get that time away from me, so they wouldn't be real homesick when they leave home. And so I just use those tools. My father always taught us to work hard, give 110% in whatever you do. I try to instill that in our kids. And I try to tell them whatever they start, finish, and finish strong. And I think those things have stuck with my kids along the way in athletics. And I probably have embarrassed them some because I'm loud at some games, but I've learned as I gotten older to quiet down a little. But I think overall I made some adjustments based on how my parents raised me and being in sports.
Love that. How about you, Lisa?
I most decidedly was not an athlete at all. Hated PE, didn't like running, none of that stuff.
We're soul sisters.
This was not good at it. My sister and I grew up, our thing was music. So we both played violin and piano. So that was sort of what my mother was running behind the two of us with, taking us to orchestra rehearsals and private lessons and music camp and all that sort of thing. So there was pretty much no athletics in my family, my mother, my sister, and me. So this was new. This was brand new. And Darien's dad played football at Virginia Tech. So he, of course, had the whole background to bring to help support Darien. And I viewed my role as sort of like watching, learning, listening, and anything my boys wanted to do that was a passion for them, just getting behind them and seeing where I could help. So being, a team parent and providing refreshments and signing people up for different things, or being the communication parent and providing information, sort of about where we're supposed to be when and all of that sort of thing. So, and then learning the game, because I really, I sort of liked football on the fringes, you could say, because, I had like aunts and uncles and not my mom, but aunts and uncles who were big fans of the Washington team. And at Thanksgiving, we'd be watching the game. So, I kind of liked football from afar, but didn't really understand it. So I just made it my business to really sort of understand it. And then it became my thing to, if it was required that I needed to stand in the rain, there was a lot of standing in the rain, watching the high school games or the youth games before he got to high school, running from here to there. He was playing basketball too. So just, pretty much just running behind them and trying to support them as an involved parent, which went all the way through college because I was the co-lead of the Spartan Football Parents Association while he was playing. So whatever I had to do to get behind him.
On behalf of moms everywhere who received communications from moms like you, we sure appreciate you. You are integral to the planning process. Sherry, how about you?
Well, I come from a very athletic family. My brothers played football. My sister played basketball. My dad played football. My mom played basketball. Then I ran track myself and some cross country, but more the speedster. So always been a part of sports. Love it. And we, in our family, we're competitive. We'll even find out a way to who has the most bags coming from the car after going to the grocery store. Who wins at that? Every little thing is a competition. Darren wants to be the first one to get in the bed. I don't understand that. They always run into that. I'm like, what? Okay, so it's always a competition.
Your house sounds fun.
Yes, it's like ridiculous. So, when we were on, I just want to share this story. When we were on lockdown for those 2 years, well, that whole 90 days, I'll just say that we had to come up with that family night. Each one of us had to come up with something per night. So Raven had the paint idea, Cameron had the yoga, and Darren had picture night, and I had something. It was like a talent show, and Dillon was like, everybody has to do his workout. No one wanted to fool with him. It was ridiculous. He was coming up with some things that we're like, what is this? But we had to do it. It's just like every time you turn around, it was like, who cares? No one cares. You got to work harder. And he would always say that, be better. So it was a constant competition in our house. Just sports all around. It's ridiculous.
I love it. So life is never just a perfect trajectory climbing straight up, right? Especially as a mom of an athlete, in the life of an athlete, there tends to be a lot of ups and downs. That's just how life is, right? Mm-hmm. And when they're home and feel discouraged, you can cook them their favorite meal and wrap your arms around them, and mama can fix it. One of my son's favorite comfort foods is pancakes. So shout out to show partner IHOP. We're going to pivot to a commercial, but when we come back, I would like to discuss, how do you support your sons from afar now that they're not always under your roof and they're at school? So viewers, please drop your pancakes in the chat, hit the like and subscribe button, and let's roll to commercial.
When you're smiling.
Introducing IHOP's new Eggs Benedicts. When you take a poached egg, add it to a crispy English muffin, fire-roasted poblano peppers, and shredded beef with our rich and buttery hollandaise sauce. You don't just get our handcrafted new Eggs Benedicts on your plate. You get a smile on your plate. New Eggs Benedicts in 4 delicious flavors, only from IHOP.
Man, that commercial always makes me hungry. So ladies, once your babies go off to college, how do you support your sons when they're discouraged or they're experiencing obstacles and you're not there?
I think one thing I do for Malik, he's the only one that's going on my house right now. Every day we talk, but on those days that he's discouraged, just giving him either a scripture or an encouraging quote to basically say, I know what you're going through, but this is not going to last long. It's just like, I call them growing pains. So I tell him it's just a growing pain. We're going to get through this together. If he needs me, we'll talk. Sometimes he wants to talk. Sometimes he doesn't. And that's okay. And I kind of try to support him either way to keep him positive and know that, he's special. And no matter what you're going through, at the end of the day, you're still Malik Carr. You're a great person. You're a good athlete, and everything will be okay and work itself out at the end.
Great advice. Lisa, how about you?
When Darien was playing, so when he was a student, trying to keep an ear out for when he seemed to need more than usual. Darien usually stays pretty even keel, which means that I could tell when something was really bothering him or when he needed to talk. So I would just kind of prod him and say, seems like something's up. Do you want to talk about it? And usually I was right. And then he would want to talk about it. He would also be very clear if he thought he could handle whatever it is. And then I would just sort of sit back and let him handle it, but let him know that if he needed me, we could talk about it. We spoke primarily by text and still do. That's kind of just a fun way that we stay in touch. And actually with both my sons, I communicate a lot with hearts, green heart for Darien, obviously because of MSU, and blue hearts for Jordan for Yale. So just, just sort of those constant little messages each day to keep them kind of lifted and just trying to keep an ear and a heart out to sense, when they might need something.
Love it. Sherry?
Yes. When Dylan would get discouraged in any way, we would talk. We love to laugh. He and I love to laugh. We love to crack jokes and smile. So we always just would connect. And I'd be like, okay, Dylan, I would allow him to talk to me, and then we would just talk. And then we would just, okay, let's move on. Let's find something else. We'll talk and we'll laugh. And we might even go out and get some ice cream. He loves ice cream. So, and when he comes back, I'll be like, let's go get some ice cream. But as he's away, I always try to send him a message and encouraging him every day to just stay strong and be better. I throw his own words back at him. Just be better. Just try your best. Just do whatever. Whatever you need to do to just calm your nerves. And we would just, the laughing part is what we would do the most. Just laugh. We love to laugh.
Love that.
Yeah.
So raising kids can feel all-consuming at times, and their world becomes your world on top of your world. Look at Sherry. She's at a track meet right now, right? So the practices and games and extra training and scrubbing the uniforms and all the things they say, you're going to miss this, you're going to want this back, right? When they go off to college, I feel like you feel pretty disconnected from that. How did that feel, and how did you deal with it?
I didn't get a break because although Malik was gone, I still have 4 more here. But I remember when we first took Malik off to school, when we came back to the house, it was just like walking in the house, something was different because Malik's like the life of our house, the loud one, the one that cracks the jokes, the one that gets everybody to play in the family games and things like that. So you could feel something was missing. But I get my fixes with him with that. When I go up there, I'll wash his clothes. When I go to Michigan State, I'll wash his clothes, take him out to dinner, or, do the things that we miss. We might just sit around his apartment and watch a TV show to make sure I'm still staying connected with him. But in my case, it was just like a little relief at home, but then you miss it from time to time. But Malik, being the communicator that he is, he keeps in touch with me every day. So I enjoy that piece as well.
That's sweet. Lisa?
Well, first of all, I hated being that far away. I still do. He's way too far away.
Agreed.
Just like,
Darien, do you hear that? Darien, we're going to need to make some adjustments.
Yeah, I can't. How do I get to you? Or, and I couldn't get to every game either. Whereas with high school, obviously I could, and that's what we were used to. Like if your son had something to do, you were there. So suddenly there were times that I couldn't be there, and that was hard. When he first went off to school, Jordan was still here. Jordan was in 8th grade, so sort of similar. To what Peggy was saying, there were still things to do around here. But I will say, like, it really hit me. I was kind of fine when we left him there. It was, I think it was like July 3rd, 2011. I pretty much remember the date. We left him there. And I was pretty okay coming home. But then a couple of days later, I went grocery shopping and realized that I did not need to go down this one particular aisle. It's the aisle that has Ovaltine, which is one of his favorite things to drink, like several times a day, and especially right before bed. And I was like, I went down the aisle and then was like, oh my God, you don't need to go down this aisle because you don't need this because he's not here.
Oh.
And I'm in the middle of giant grocery store and literally burst
Crying, right?
in the aisle. I was like, I don't think I like this very much
at all.
I was not ready to be an empty nester. And that's what my blog was supposed to be about. Like I was not ready, very reluctant. So
we're going to talk about that blog a little bit later. Sherry?
Yes. It hasn't really, because still it seems like he's home all the time.
Well, I won't leave.
No, but I mean, no, I'm not that parent. I want them all to be around all the time. But it's just the one time though, when he left early, the early enrolling, and everybody had gone to see him. And he said to me, like every weekend, somebody was going up there. Somebody had seen him. And he said, Mom, do you realize you haven't been up here yet? It had been like 6 weeks. But I would still see him, but I hadn't been up to see. I hadn't been to his place, to his dorm, his apartment. And that kind of bothered him. I was like, I was just trying to step back. He's like, I don't need you to do that.
Oof.
Yeah.
Dagger to the heart.
So I was trying because my husband said, if you show them when Raven left, this is what he said with Raven. He said, if you show her that you don't want her to leave, she's not going to leave. Mm-hmm. So I had to kind of step back, and when the same thing with Dillon. And so that's why I was trying to be like, let me just be cool. I'll just go into their rooms when I'm feeling I need to see them. And so that's what I was trying to do. But when he said that told me, it's okay, Sherry. Go ahead. You can see your son. It's okay. He still needs you. Yes. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can do this.
It's always like it's your job to launch them, and you want to know they can launch, but secretly you don't always want them to launch.
No, not at all.
Exactly.
Not at all.
So people have a lot of questions about how to raise kids right. But on the flip side of raising kids is how the kids actually impact our lives as moms and evolving women. And I'm curious, how has raising athletes made you a better woman?
Well, that's a tough one. I think raising athletes has made me a better woman because my kids always keep me on my toes, whether it's with my job, working out, whatever I'm doing. They always keep me on my toes and kind of keep me, force me to be organized with the schedule and what I have to do to get everything done, because certain things that they want, my kids like a home cooked meal. When I don't cook, they think something's wrong. So just making sure I can provide them the things that they want and that they need as athletes. But I think it kind of keeps you humble as to when you see your kids growing up. It keeps you humble as an athletic mom. It keeps you humble, and you kind of learn as you get older. I can say, like, when I was younger, I probably was more aggressive in the stands and things like that. And as they get older, they just kind of teach you to kind of chill out and just enjoy the moment. And that's what I'm trying to do with Malik right now. Sometimes I get loud in the stands, but I try to just enjoy the moment, enjoy their time, and like live what they're living for them, because I've already done it myself. So just seeing them do it brings me joy inside myself.
Oh, love that. Lisa or Sherry, you decide who wants to go next.
I can jump in. I think one thing is it helped make me more organized, because you have to be. There's so much to stay on top of and keep track of. So that's one thing. But the other is I feel like not just Darien, like it's been the same with theater with Jordan, because they both picked they both sort of pick these areas that you have to be out, like they have to be out there and they're seen and people have stuff to say. And,
Right.
you know, you can get like, you can like not make it, or it might take longer to make it, or, you know, all that sort of thing. And what they've taught me is that when you care about your passion and when you really, really want it, you are willing to just take on things and let them sort of roll off you, which is not anything that I'm good at. Like I feel everything. I absorb everything. I take everything in. I'm like, yeah, I worry, I stress and all of that. But watching them sort of deal with these really sort of high profile kinds of like very exposed kinds of passions that they have, it's been eye-opening for me. And so I feel like they've been teaching me, which has made me, I think, a better mom.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Sherry?
I'm glad to hear that they said that they're organized, Lisa and Peggy. I don't see how you could do it. I'm not organized. I feel like I'm all over the place all the time. But what my kids have taught me is that I need to listen. I listen to them and they talk to me and I hear what they're saying and we have our conversation. So, and if I'm not listening to them, it hurts them. So it just has taught me to be cognizant of what it is that they need. They're in being athletic. Like okay, 2 years ago when Cam couldn't run and I had to listen to her. I had to say, okay, even though I really want her to run, okay, I need to sit back. When Dillon got hurt in the game, and the Vikings, go Vikings, Viking mom, shout out real quick. But when he was playing and he hurt his hip in the game, I had to sit back. He said, Mom, I have to sit down. And I was like, okay. So it has taught me to listen in order to be, just hear them out and see something different. So that's what I can say.
You guys are great. So keeping one child on track through high school and all their hobbies, like one kid is enough. But you all have multiple who are all multiple high achievers. Like, how did you balance each of the kids' hobbies and gifts and make sure that they all felt supported? And how did you make sure everyone felt what they needed and got what they needed?
For me, I think it's we have a really I have a really good support system with my family, sisters, my brothers, but especially our extended family, like their coaches, the programs they're in, like the Falcons and Sound Mind Somebody has poured so much into my kids. All the at Belleville, at Oak Park, when Malik was there, like all the coaches kind of and all the support people kind of poured into my kids. But what I do is make sure that I recognize that they all are different. They all need something different and try to provide that. So Malik was my outgoing kid, so I didn't have to help him with the social piece. He had that down pat. So he needed more support, reminded him of how important academics is. And now he has that, like he understands that piece. And then I have some kids that are more shy and I want to show them, like, you need to have some social skills, like go out with your friends, do this and that. So just recognizing their deficiencies and what they're good at and then what they need to improve on and trying to help them that way. But to be honest, like the village, when they say it takes a village, I didn't know what that meant growing up, but it really takes a village. Like it's been many nights and days that I've called their coaches or their teachers, support staff that poured into my kids, because sometimes they get tired of hearing from their parents. They need to hear a different voice. And I thank God that we had some good people in our lives and still do that are pouring into our kids and saying the same things that we would say. And so that was important to me, to surround them around people that would say the same thing that I would say, but give them a different voice and somebody else to talk to.
Love that. Lisa?
I think also I agree with Peggy about honoring what your children, want to do and what interests them. That was sort of the big thing for us. It was clear early on that Darien was gonna want to be deeply involved in some manner of athletics. That was very clear. Jordan started out doing some, I think he did like baseball and soccer. They both did karate for quite a while. But it was also very clear early on that Jordan was going to tend more toward the arts and wanted to focus there. And they both also did music for a while as well. Darien played saxophone actually all the way through high school. And then Jordan tried 3 different instruments, I think. But theater was really what stuck with him, and karate for a little while. It was really a matter of, in terms of making sure they got what they needed, listening to what they had to say. So when they were, when one of them would say, I really don't like this, even if I wanted them, like I really wanted Jordan to keep playing violin and Jordan didn't want to keep playing violin. So, we had to let that go. They were both in Scouts, and they both decided at some point they were done with Scouts. They didn't want to do that anymore. And so, I think sometimes, especially I think my generation, we sort of come from the generation of, you should really be directing your children and you should be making sure that they get this thing, this thing, this thing, and this thing. And for me, it really was a matter of, what is it that you love? What is it that you care about? And whatever it is, we will get in the car, we will go, we will buy the equipment, we will get the lessons, we will sign you up for the theater program, whatever it is. And we also needed the village. My mother was front and center. Alan, their father, his parents and aunt his mom and aunt were front and center. And then we had neighbors who were integral once Darien started playing at Michigan State, because if we had to travel and Jordan needed to stay home and couldn't go, we had really, really good friends who would keep Jordan, because he was only in 8th grade when Darien first came to MSU. So I sort of echo the same things that Peggy was talking about with the village, but also especially just the listening. And that matters so much, because when you see your children in their element, that's all I've ever needed. When Jordan is on a stage, it's just like, whew. When Darien, I think it was, I'm trying to remember which game it was. I can't remember, but I have this video of him coming out, leading the linebackers out. And he just was like, you could see he was in the zone. He was just bouncing down the sideline as they were getting ready to do their warm-ups. And, same thing. There's nothing better than that. There really isn't. So.
True. Sherry, how about you?
Yes, the same thing. As far as the village is concerned, we have a tight-knit group starting with the Vikings crew, the guys and their wives. Just the crew has been a big part of rearing our kids, all 3 of them. Even though Dillon was the football player, they reared all of our kids with us. And we also celebrated. We celebrate everything. In my family, we celebrate everything. And we make sure that we celebrate whatever it is that our kids are doing. We're celebrating it. And just so one doesn't feel slighted over the other. Just like it could be the smallest thing. Hey, your tooth came out. We're gonna celebrate that. We're gonna celebrate it. And when we had Darren's mom and his grandma and his aunt, bless their souls, they're no longer here. They made sure they celebrated our kids as well. It was just always a celebration, and then acknowledging, is this what you want to do? And making sure this is what you want to do, and listening to them. So each of them had their own. I don't think they could tell you right now that we never let them slide on anything, and let them or slighted them on anything. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So that's how we made sure everybody was intact.
I love it. I love it. Adjusting to football life from afar, like from high school to college, you all have navigated that. Lisa has actually navigated the next season that you'll all, and people in the chat and me someday, will all have to cross. And just saying it out loud is probably gonna make me tear up again. But when football life is done, and it's such an integral part of your family experience, but when the cleats are hung up and you get to the other side, do you have any hindsight advice to help us adjust to that? Things that worked for you, things that didn't, things that you think we should try?
To adjust to sort of like the parent life post football?
Yes.
It's a big change, because suddenly, like, for a hot minute, we thought was sort of going to continue in the same way for a little bit, because he went to Cincinnati like in the preseason, and then didn't make the 53-man roster. So, for a while we were like, okay, well, we're still in the middle of this. And then we were like, okay, we're not really in the middle of this anymore. And it's a jolt, but I think recognizing that it is a huge difference for your son is sort of the bigger thing to adjust to. Whatever it is, whatever the transition is, whether they're in the NFL or whether they're beginning a career or whatever, it's different. It's not like the same as being an MSU Spartan on campus in college. So I think sort of being ready for that transition so that you can, support your son however and whatever they might need in making that transition, because they've been on this trajectory from like youth, most kids like from 5, 6, 7, all the way to now. And it's a big difference afterward. For me as a football mom, I think really just sort of staying connected to other families, maintaining friendships that you made along the way, remaining a Spartan fan. I mean, you're a Spartan mom for life. Like that just is. The games are on. I am right front and center. I will come up for games. And I mean, obviously Darien is on staff, but I would still be coming up, I think, for games, even if he had a job somewhere else. And in fact, I did before he was on staff. I was up there for games. It's just, it's such a community. It is such a family, and it spans the generations. And so I just think staying connected and tapped in, and acknowledging that you are part of the family. Like it's not over. It's not over afterwards. And then just that being that support and being aware that it is a big change, I think, for our sons.
Yeah, I agree. And as that, now you know that we have this resource here. So we hope that all Spartan moms will forever stay in our show, watching the chat, and connecting here with other Spartan fans. So you're always welcome here. Yes, you're Spartan moms for life, for sure. So I want to shift to some fun stuff, if that's okay with y'all, because I think we've gotten very emotional and it's time to lighten it up a little bit. So I'm going to take a cue from Choo Choo. And we always ask the players, one of the things he loves to ask is game day, what's in your playlist? And we always talk about like football is a family experience. Game day at our house is exciting. Everybody walks a little taller. Mama's a little bit more happy, right? So game day, ladies, what are you listening to in the car or in the house to get hyped?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's okay. Go ahead. Tell us.
Okay, mine, honestly, I'm listening to the fight song. I am obsessed with the MSU marching band, like absolutely obsessed. And every time they come out there from the very beginning with the drum major coming out and doing the little back bend, the whole thing. So I'm like, seriously, I'm listening to the MSU fight song and trying to do the little routine that I still need to get Olivia to teach me. She was a captain of the cheerleading squad. So Yeah.
I don't think I have a favorite song. It's whatever. Like my kids kind of play whatever when we're on the way to Malik's game, and I just kind of listen to their songs. But since I'm over since me and my husband are over the Spartan Football Parent Association, we get excited for meeting the parents there, and then we have music playing there, and so just we like that part of it, getting to know different parents, having other parents come. And to be honest, Malik is a transfer to Michigan State, and the parents that we have at Michigan State compared to where he came from, even though it was COVID then, like our parents at Michigan State is something different. And I'm just being honest, like they're supportive, they come out, we're like a family. And that's what we like, the home games, the Spartan football tailgates, all the food and drinks and everything, all the families that come out, and just everybody having a good time with their family before we go out to the field.
Sherry, what are the Tatums listening to? Tell the truth.
Oh my God. We listened to some blues. My husband loves blues, but we listen to house music. House music gets us hyped. Okay. But if I must say one song when I'm by myself and I'm getting ready for any of my kids' event, I love Ludacris. Move, get out the way, get out the way.
Yes,
that's my song, and I play it loudly. And then I'm ready. Then I'll see them, and then I'll act like I never even.
I love it.
I just like you, Sherry.
The other thing that we always ask is where the guys like to hang out if they're going to go, have a pop or a little, just relax at. And let's face it, parents deserve to have fun too. So when you guys are in East Lansing, if somebody's looking to find you, where are you hanging out at? Tell us.
The Pizza House. I can answer that one real quick. We're at the Pizza House.
We don't. I'm gonna be honest. When we're up at games, we don't really hang out as much as it's the tailgate, and then after the game, we're usually with Malik at his apartment with his friends or whatever. But it's a place that a Spartan. I can't remember the name of the place, but the restaurant where it's a it's a Spartan football player owns it. A soul food place. We like to go there though. Can't remember the name of it though.
Sherry, where are the Tatums at? Y'all are at the barbecue. Where else are you at?
Yeah.
We are still learning places.
Yeah.
We
Uh-oh. Did we lose her?
She muted. Mm-hmm. Sherry, you muted. She going it.
All right. There we go.
Oh, she went back.
Oh.
Somebody is messing with me. I don't know. I'm not doing it. Okay.
There you go. You got
be still. All right. We're still learning, but we have gone back to the tailgate area after the game and hung out, and that's been fun. And then we'll head on back to Farmington Hills.
I got you. Peggy, I think the spot you're thinking about is Gregory's, which is always an outstanding spot for soul food and music. So shout out to Gregory's and our friends in the chat who hang out there. Each of you, really, I could sit here and talk to forever. I thank you so much for your time, for being honest with us and being open. And I'm getting a notification that it's time for me to get off the air. So I'm going to turn the show over to the actual professionals, Jason, Otis, and Jehuu. They would like to wish you a happy Mother's Day and see you all. Thank you. This is Sparta.
Thank you.
It was fun talking to you.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day. Hey, that was a phenomenal show, ladies. I mean, you guys carried that very, very good. Me and Cody were listening to the whole show. I'm out doing, the football dad duties, but I'm outstanding content. I'm going to have to go back and listen to a lot of those tips that you guys brought up, because that's going to help us all. I mean, that was great. I appreciate all of you doing what you did, and happy Mother's Day. Have a special week. But every day, like I like what Darien said, every day is Mother's Day. It really is. But God bless you all. Thank you, and we love you. Have a great
Thank
week.
you. Love you too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Not a problem. All right. Well, at this time, I guess we will let you guys go and enjoy that track meet. Bring them home. Bring home that championship, Sherry.
All right, we will. All right.
Yeah, go green.
All right.
Go
Go
white.
All right. Well, great job, Alicia. That was outstanding. We were supposed to hold those Happy Mother's Day from your kids like till now, but it all came out. It almost messed you up, but I'm proud of you because you got through it. That was you weren't expecting that at all.
Little heads up would have been nice.
But
Hey, you keep me on my toes.
It was about surprising you. That's what it was, because that's what mothers need, a little bit of that excitement in their life, with all the things that you do as a mother. Thank you so much for everything you did. That was hey, I got to watch myself here. You're going to end up taking my job from me. I'll handle something else. The other duties, not quite as well as you do. Thank you so much.
Watching you over the years has helped me out. So I appreciate you. And are we closing out, or is Jehuu?
You know what? I think Jehuu. Otis is on assignment right now in Detroit. Jehuu maybe somewhere in East Lansing crawling out of a bar. He isn't able to do it. I'll make sure those guys, do their Mother's Day things next week. I know there's a very special something that Jehuu has in store for everybody on Tuesday. And we can go down a laundry list of things happening in Michigan State football and athletics. But until then, for Alicia Strayhorn, I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta MSU. Everybody have a good night. God bless, and go green.
Go white.
This is Sparta MSU as a combined presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. The show is produced by Pete Menez with additional support from Tony Costella. Operations and social media support is provided by Alicia Strayhorn with support from Cecily Max Brown. On-location technical support is provided by Good Fruit Video. Be sure to follow our hosts Jason Strayhorn, Jehuu Caulcrick, and Otis Wiley on social media. To stay up to date with all the latest, this is Sparta News. Please like and subscribe by visiting our link tree and tell a friend to do the same. Thank you for your support, and as always, go green.